So I was hosting a Twitter space. My friend's like, oh, you gotta jump into this Twitter space. I want you to host it. There's this woman, Emily Lazar. I'm like, wait, September Morning, Emily Lazar from that awesome rock band? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, what is she doing? Well, she's doing this awesome stuff with NFTs. I'm like, cool. All right, I'll have an interview with her. So we just did this interview, and during the conversation, it was she was like, Farrah just said, oh yeah, by the way, Emily, Peter's going to be, he's stage managing her at NFT.NYC, and she's like, wait, I'm speaking. I'm like, well then you need to be on my stage, and she's like, I have to be on your stage. I have to be on your stage. So we actually didn't go contact NFT.NYC and say, can Emily be on my stage? It just so happened that I got to introduce Emily Lazar, September Monsters. What's up, Emily? Let's give it up. That's what community is all about.
Yes, it is.
Yes, bring it in. It's great to see you. We have to give you a microphone. Is there one hidden back here? Oh, there's one for you. There is a clicker. We take care of you here.
Wait, how do I do this?
You press the green button.
All right, the green.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, GM. I am Emily Lazar, obviously. I'm a professional touring musician, and according to Daily Blockchain News, in March of 2021, I was the first female rock metal musician to mint and sell an NFT on the blockchain. So, yeah, like I said, I'm a professional touring musician, and I have a band called September Morning. September Morning is a transmedia project. It is, hold on, where, there, okay, wait, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So that's what I look like on stage. Right there. So when I say transmedia, some of you probably don't know what that is, so I'm going to tell you real quick. I play a character that has a central storyline, and it's told across all different types of media. So music, comic books, graphic novels, merchandising, videos, TV, film, and now NFTs. NFTs was just a natural progression of what I was doing throughout my years of doing September Morning on stage. So it was kind of like a really easy fit for me to go into that. We've performed with the likes of Rob Zombie, Slipknot, Five Finger Death Punch, Marilyn Manson, a bunch of different bands here and in Europe. So we've been quite busy since 2015. Touring has pretty much taken over my life. I tour 8 months out of the year because as a musician, and if you are a fellow touring musician, God bless, because it does take over your life, because there's no way to make money in the music industry unless you're on the road, basically, as a band. So that's kind of like what brought me into NFTs. I was looking at, the devaluation of music throughout the history. We have, $30 vinyls, and now we have $10 a month streaming services. So that's where we went. That's where we came from. That's where we went. And as an artist, you get percentages of that. And right now, you're getting percentages from Spotify, and it's 0.003 cents per stream. And if you do the math on that, to go to Starbucks to buy a $7 coffee, you got to do a hell of a lot of streaming to get that $7 coffee. So you can imagine what trying to maintain a band and do costuming and whatever, it's just a lot. So we have to stay on the road. So when I found out about NFTs, I was like, this is amazing. This is a way that I can kind of get royalty shares, 10% on music and my art and everything that I do, as well as kind of give back to my consumer base, because they can flip my NFTs. They can make money as well. So I'm constantly giving back. So I started a project called September's Monsters. And September's Monsters is a PFP project, generative project, 1,000 monsters. And we sold out of it pretty much right away. It's linked to all my music. So if you own a monster, you can go into my Discord, and you have a token-gated channel, and you can download my catalog of music, plus everything I do in perpetuity for free, and you own it. You don't have to go to a streaming platform or anything like that to get it. You can actually just play it wherever you want to because it is yours. It is on your phone. It is on your computer. It is wherever you want to keep it. So for me, that was kind of like a big thing to give my fans. Also, like I said, my whole thing is based on a graphic novel published through Image Comics with Mark Silvestri. So the comic book is available in that channel as well. We just got greenlit for 3 more books, so those will be available in that channel as well. So for me, this became this distribution channel that I could not get through Spotify because Spotify was not paying me. So how was I gonna make this money? And this was the way to do it. Now, we also plugged in some IRL utility because, as we know, we're in a bear market right now. ETH is in the toilet. Everything's kind of in the toilet. That's okay, though. It doesn't really matter. It's going to go back up. Markets go up. Markets go down. But I realize that, especially as a musician or an artist, in bear markets, you want to plug your utility factor to something IRL. You want to have that valuation in real life for your fans. So even if it's in the toilet with the price, they can still go to your concert and get into your VIP for free. They can still get 20% off your merch for merchandising. They can do a lot of things IRL. So you give them that give back, and that's really, really rather important. So for me, this is how I chose to do music distribution with Web3 and NFTs. Now, this wasn't my first project. That's not my first project either. This one, if it plays, someday it might play. Well, it's an animated GIF that has my comic book art. You can't see it. I don't know why it's not working. But if you go on September morning, the Soul Collection, it's my first OG project. I spent 58 weeks. I think I'm still on the OpenSea music charts at number 58 now, but I spent quite a bit of time on there in the top 50 with that project. And that was my very first music project through OpenSea. And I remember doing it in March and being like, this is the future, because I linked my music to my NFTs so people would get the downloads of the songs and the graphic novels from those first projects. And that was kind of like my gateway to doing September's Monsters, which became a more distributed project and a PFP. And I really think that's the future of what we're doing here. It's really sad to see artists having to rely on platforms to sell things and giving them so much of their revenue. And it's crazy that we have a sort of food pyramid that goes from platform to artist instead of artist to platform. But in NFTs, it goes artist to platform. So that's why I like being in this space. It's rather important to enforce that, because we cannot be feeding these platforms, and then they start charging us. So I remember when we were doing Facebook and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure everybody remembers that, when we were all on Facebook trying to do music or whatever. And we got to 100,000 people on your page, and then they're like, oh, by the way, when you go tour and you want those people in South Dakota to look at your page, you've got to pay us now. So what did you spend all these years building up your fan base on this platform, and then now you're going to have to pay the platform to actually access your fan base? What's that? So this is a way to just directly, artist to fan, access your fan base. And there's going to be analytics that are going to be tied to all this. They already are, actually. That you can kind of locate where the people that have your NFTs, where they're located. And if you want to tour mostly in those areas, then you can go tour mostly in those areas. It's a great way to kind of figure out what's going on with your fan base. So all in all, that's kind of what I've done in the space so far. I have a Pixie Girls. I don't know why this isn't working. But I have another project called the Pixie Girls. It was based on my paintings. I painted during the pandemic because there was nothing else to do. And it was before I found NFTs, and I wasn't making any money. So I painted these little girls that were, kind of like Tim Burton-esque. And I put them up on the blockchain recently, and now they're selling out, and I'm getting more revenue from that. And I'm doing, like I said, IRL plugging to my Pixie Girls, so I'm doing Zoom calls with my Pixie Girls. So constantly feed your fan base, that's what I'm saying. So all in all, make sure that you bring more to the space than you take away, you know? And what? Thanks, Snap. You know, and we're in this, like I said before in the other panel, we're in this revolution, but we're also in an evolution. And it's up to all of us in this room to elevate the space. So when you come into the space, be coming with your hand up and not your hand out. What can we do together to make the space bigger and grow it together? Thank you guys so very much.
Yeah.